It's 11:16 now, and we're back on midday this Monday, and we have your weekly installment of News to You. A look at what was making headlines 10, 20, 30, even 40 years ago. Election Day is tomorrow, and always the Tuesday after the first Monday in November. So this week, a special look back as Dave McKinley resurrects some politicians from the past in his News to You Election Week special.
Election 2013 saw Byron Brown win his third term as mayor of Buffalo, Tim Howard his third as Erie County Sheriff, and Stefan Mihailu won a full term as Erie County Comptroller. And there was even bigger news on what was overall a good night for the GOP.
In the Erie County Legislature is under new management.
As for the first time in 35 years, Republicans would hold the majority in the legislature. It was also the year that New York voters approved a measure allowing the licensing of up to 7 state-sponsored non-tribal casinos, 5 of which have been built since the measure was passed 10 years ago in the election of 2013. Election 2003, Joel Giambro won a second term as county executive, defeating Democrat Dan Ward. 10 years after leaving office, former Buffalo Mayor Jimmy Griffin completed a political comeback by winning a seat on the city's Common Council. Andy Sanfilippo won the election for City of Buffalo Comptroller over longtime Common Councilman James Pitts. In the Falls, Vince Anello was elected mayor, defeating one-term incumbent and former nun Irene Elia. And George Bush won his election. No, not this George Bush, but this George Bush, who was chosen by voters to serve a 4th term on the Cambria Town Council 20 years ago during the election of 2003. Election 1993. For the first time in 16 years, Buffalo would have a new mayor when State Senator Anthony Masiello was elected to become the city's 61st mayor, defeating Republican Richard Grimm and Eugene Fahey, a Democrat running on the conservative line. It was also the year that Nancy Naples, a businesswoman who, despite having no political experience, was elected to countywide office. Imagine that. She won the first of her 3 terms as county comptroller, defeating young Brian Higgins, who gave up his seat on the Buffalo Common Council to run.
And one day, I can't tell you when it's going to be, we will share the victory that so many other candidates share tonight.
That was prophetic, because 9 years later, when these same two would face off in an election for an open congressional seat, the victor would be Higgins, who still serves in the House of Representatives today. Elsewhere, Rudy Giuliani won his first term as the mayor of New York City 30 years ago in the election of 1993. Election 1983, when Joe Krangel was chairman of the Erie County Democratic Party and his counterpart Victor Farley led the Republicans, Ed Rutkowski was elected to a second term as Erie County executive, defeating Democrat David Swartz. Now, to give you an idea of how popular the incumbent county executive was back in those days, Rutkowski, despite facing a 3-to-1 enrollment disadvantage, beat his opponent by a 3-to-1 margin. In Niagara Falls, Michael Laughlin was reelected as mayor, which was nothing new for he who would turn out to be the city's longest-serving mayor ever. Elsewhere,
former Cheektowaga supervisor Daniel Weber won a comeback victory yesterday in a hands-down win for the town's top elected post. Lackawanna residents also had a heavy interest in yesterday's election,
where Mayor Tom Radich was reelected this week in 1983 when it was all News to You.